Good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. It was cool here. The wind was from the north, and it could really had an edge to it. So the Arctic air is getting into parts of the lower 48. We'll start with our disclaimer. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Well, treasuries are up. Gold was up a little bit. Crude oil is up. The E-mini early in Globex last night retested 25.85 and it held, but it's back up to 25.82 and looks like it's going to retest that. So no news to speak of overnight. No news on schedule today. My guess is that Dudley at 12:10 Eastern, and comments by certain individuals, and on Trump's tax package. McCain, any of the those that typically vote against Trump, coming out and saying that the bill is dead, could cause a new spike in equities, especially. The McConnell, Ryan, coming out and saying things positive or negative about it, could impact it. So the Democrats will say nothing nice about it. But boy, when I looked at it and went over some of the details this weekend, they're capping deductions and taking a lot of deductions away. So you're losing a lot of deductions, so they increase the family deductions and individual deductions from where they were. But I saw deductions being taken away, and capped, and taxes going up. And with that 6% surcharge on people who make $1 million in income or more, that's a 46% tax bracket. And if you're in a state that charges 10, 12, 13%, like some of them do, 46 plus 10, that's 56, that's 59. I mean, and then there's all sorts of taxes on top of that we don't get talked about or get lumped into it. I mean, the taxing entities are getting more than half of some people's income now. People that make that much money have ways of sheltering it, but I don't think this. I think this tax bill actually increases taxes. And the big thing that was missing, there were no cut in expenses anywhere. In fact, the only thing that ever gets cut is defense spending, and they're pretty good at doing that. So I think there's a chance for new spikes on the difficulties that this proposal will face getting through Congress. So we'll see. Those are probably the two big news factors today. We're at resistance, 12 to 16. We start trading through 25.16, and the market could be poised for a little breakout, but with interest rates going up, it's hard to see that it can go very far. Now, if interest rates don't go up, that's a different matter, because the market is heavily short based on increased taxes or expectations for such. So we've got this high over here at 13. So 11 to 15 is number one sell. Like to get it done close to 16 as possible. 19 to 23 is sell 2. On the buy side, 4 to 8. Let them get stops below 8. Buy 1. 29 to 01, buy 2. I did not watch any of Tennessee's football game this weekend. I record sports events, so they're not 4-hour affairs, but they're still pretty close to 3. And the product is so bad. But I didn't watch any NFL football yesterday either. I don't have a horse in the race, and no one particularly. In fact, the only team that might be worth watching for the average low interest viewer, would be the Eagles, who have managed a nice comeback. I've seen highlights of that quarterback. He looks pretty effective. But it's freed up about an extra 6 or 7 hours of time where I can do other things. So I'm reading books and doing other things. 4 to 8, number 1. 11 to 15, sell 2. 19 to 23, sell 3. Sell 2. 11 to 15, sell 1. Potential resistance at 4 to 8. On the buy side, 24 to 28 is number 1. 17 to 21, buy 1. 5 to 9, buy 2. Don't see a lot happening today. Hopefully, those are famous last words, so we can get some volatility in the market and have something to trade. Gold. Gold was a little higher. Didn't really see any news that would support higher, but you can see right over here at below 67 we do have buyers, and then up here above 82 we have sellers. So a 67 minus, 82 plus market, and that's where we are right now. Doing a London split. London is the gold market. That's where it starts. So trying to trade higher. A couple of P's behind us, so we'll make 74, 76, sell 1. 79, 81, sell 2. On the buy side, 68 to 70. No news day. We may be looking at a $5 range. Then 64 to 66 for buy 2 in gold today. Back to sports and all the amount of time that people devote to it. I'm thinking, I've talked to so many people, I'm over it. They don't want to spend that time, and they're using what's going on, dishonor or disrespecting the flag as an excuse. But my feeling is that people don't want to spend that amount of time anymore watching really a pretty inferior product as far as the NFL's. Most of the games are atrocious from the highlight standpoint, and the scores, and you see everybody getting beat regularly. Okay, 1635 is where the selling started. A new move out of the middle, so fold that in right there like that. Got a high up here at 43. We've got that new selling at 35. We still have that low over there at 116.05, 116 even. So we'll play for a little lower, 116 even, 116.10, buy 1. Don't think we have enough news other than the potential for news spikes to drive the market. We'll make 30 to 40, sell 1, picking up this area right in here, and then 50 to 60, sell 2. Not looking for much of a day. Now, back in the old days when we had volatility in two-sided markets, when you would come into a day where you weren't looking for much to happen, that would be the first alert that might have trend day potential, because there's nothing going on. And if the market quietly moves and takes out stops, that's how it got started on those quiet days, no news days. So that's where we had two-sided markets in normal volatility. Okay, crude is higher once again. The crackdown in Saudi Arabia on corruption and probably more coup prevention action. I guess some very powerful people in the royal family, and Tawid, who's probably the most famous investor in Saudi Arabia. I mean, he gets his name splashed all over as he came in and rescued Citi and some other people. So I would think the new prince is trying to eliminate competition and shore up what he wants to do. But given the reforms that he's going to bring, and this guy is going to be walking on thin ice, some religious fanatic out there is waiting to avenge Islam and take this guy out who's breaking all the rules. And that's, so you just got to be very, very careful. Okay, Lat Rollins high was 56.15.25, so we'll make we're at 56 even, so we'll make 56.15, 56.25, sell 1, and 56.50, 56.75, sell 2. Got a B shape here, so we have a chance to trade it lower. So let's go 55.50, 55.75, buy 1, and then 55 even, 55 and a quarter, buy 2. The market will want to come back and retest this high at 55 and a quarter, whatever it was, plus or minus right here. And then we had this late breakout that drove on Friday. So Saudi Arabia, the news out of Saudi Arabia is driving the markets. And assassinations, killing of people close to the new leader. The markets will be subject to that. So right now they're playing it as potential for instability in the Saudi Arabian government. No longer business as usual. Okay, in Globex we hit the high right here, so sell failure to take out and hold 25.85. It could take us back to 75. Just short-term traders, with especially with a negative comment on Trump's tax package, sell to 89 to 91. Right here, that's support. So 81 to 79, buy 1. 74, 76, buy 2. And I think the whole shooting match is going to be right here. Put all this together, we're still dealing with a very strong P longer term, where long the 2600 calls, like the long side of the market, until proven differently. Trump's tax package, as proposed last week, I mean, good luck getting it passed. But again, you see a lot of class warfare in the Republican. They're not going to be accused of hurting the middle class or the poor people out there, and they're taxing the rich, the very, very wealthy. They didn't get much out of that tax bill at all. So, other than a decreased corporate tax rate for the companies that they happen to own, which is something. But again, it's just what they ought to do is just go out there and cut all taxes a certain percentage across the board and let it go at that. Try to get that one passed, right? I'm going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. Back with you as soon as possible.